Hello, you're watching QPVN News. I'm Anh Tuấn and we keep you up to date with the headlines. Vietnam Military History Museum project second phase to be launched. Preparation for military parades inspected. Cultural beauty bridging tradition and modernity. During the night session chaired by National Assembly Chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn, on February the 17th, the National Assembly reviewed and passed the draft of the revised law on amendments and supplements to the law on organization of the National Assembly, discussed the resolution on piloting a number of policies to remove obstacles in science, technology and innovation activities, and agreed to rename Extraordinary Session, Irregular Session. General Secretary Tô Lâm, President Lương Cường, and Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính attended the meeting. In the morning session, delegates agreed on the need to create specific mechanisms and a favorable development environment for agencies, units, and individuals to conduct scientific research. It is essential to launch policies for businesses and research centers with an aim to recruit Vietnamese experts abroad, as well as international experts to engage in training and nurturing Vietnamese talents in the country through such policies as visa support, tax exemptions, and other policies. The delegates agreed that building the Ninh Thuận nuclear power project is extremely urgent to contribute to the economic and social development of the country. Delegate Trần Quốc Nam said that local people in the project area are ready to hand over their land to serve the project. Vĩnh Hải and Phước Vĩnh communes, where the nuclear power plant will be built, are both heroic localities of the two resistance wars. The locals put their trust in the party and alcohol. Today, they continue to donate land with the hope to contribute their part to national development. On the same day, the National Assembly passed the draft of the revised law on amendments and supplements to the law on organization of the National Assembly. The regulation on extraordinary National Assembly sessions are reviewed and revised. Under the new regulation, the legislature will continue to hold 2 regular sessions each year. An irregular session may be convened at the request of the State President, the National Assembly Standing Committee, the Prime Minister, or at least 1/3 of the total number of National Assembly deputies. These sessions are held to address urgent matters within the National Assembly's jurisdiction, ensuring timely decisions on socio-economic development, defense, security, and foreign affairs. To further exploit the Vietnam Military History Museum, on February the 17th, Lieutenant General Trương Thiên Tô, Vice Chairman of the General Political Department of the Vietnam People's Army, and the working mission worked with the Vietnam Military History Museum's leaderships on the implementation of the Vietnam Military History Museum project's second phase. From November the 1st to December the 30th, 2024 alone, the Vietnam Military History Museum welcomed 800,000 visitors' arrivals, successfully organized 5 exhibitions as planned, particularly those marking 80th founding anniversary of the General Political Department, the 80th founding anniversary of the Vietnam People's Army, and the 35th anniversary of the Ho People Defense Festive Day. With the project's first phase completed and put into operation, the Vietnam Military History Museum is a space for not only display of historical artifacts, but also vivid experiences and interactions, providing visitors with a deep look into the struggles for national independence and protection of the Vietnamese military and people. At the same time, the museum also becomes a venue for major political, cultural, and artistic events of national significance. Based on the actual operation of the project, several works will be completed in the second phase of the museum, including outdoor exhibition space, indoor exhibition space in the second phase, service area, and some other auxiliary infrastructures. Lieutenant General Trương Thiên Tô hailed the results at the Vietnam Military History Museum has achieved, urging the museum's leadership to well-organize exhibition regular and unscheduled exhibitions and provide good service for visitors. He also laid emphasis on the collection work as well as the management and operation of the museum, thus making it a place for education about the country's history, also an ideal destination for domestic and international visitors and a venue for large-scale events of the country. A delegation of the Quảng Ninh Provincial Bodyguard Command on the morning of February the 17th paid tribute to martyrs and national heroes at Bò Hèn National Historical Relic Site in Móng Cái City. In a solemn atmosphere, the delegation offered incenses and wreath in commemoration of the martyrs and heroes who fought and sacrificed to protect the sacred sovereignty of the fatherland. Quảng Ninh bodyguards vowed to promote the heroic tradition, unity, and determination to safeguard the national territorial integrity and border security. Bò Hèn National Historical Relic Site in Hải Sơn Commune, Móng Cái City marked the valor and glorious sacrifices of officers and soldiers of Armed Police Station 209, the predecessors of Quảng Ninh Bodyguard today, at the battle to protect the northern borderline of the fatherland. On the afternoon of February the 17th at the National Military Training Center No. 4, the Military Training and Defense Education Management Department under the General Staff of the Vietnam People's Army inspected the coordination between agencies, units and forces participating in military parades at the ceremony to mark the 50th anniversary of the liberation of the South and national reunification. After completing the phase of basic training at their respective units, the parade forces have been mobilized to 4 concentrated training clusters. The relevant agencies and units closely coordinated to ensure absolute safety and discipline observance during maneuvering process. The forces then quickly settled and urgently entered the phase of joint training until April the 6th. From February the 10th to the 17th, Military Region 3 Command inspected training preparations for 2025 at its affiliated units. The working delegation assessed that the units had prepared carefully for the new training season. Officers at all levels had been fully trained, while many initiatives and improvements of good quality were effectively applied in practice. Besides, training facilities and funds were given special attention to. Leaders of Military Region 3 requested units to do a good job of grasping the troops' thoughts while continuing to foster key officers in terms of qualifications, management capacity and training methods, as well as coordinating with local party committees and authorities to grasp situations. Coming up next, Vietnamese-Australian firms enhance cooperation in international payment. Cultural beauty bridging tradition and modernity. On February the 17th in Hanoi, Deputy Prime Minister Trần Hồng Hà met with Mr. Reup Denemek, Vice President of ACECOOK Group, the lead contractor of the VIET Consortium executing Package 5.10 of the Long Thanh International Airport project. Deputy Prime Minister Trần Hồng Hà acknowledged ACECOOK as a reputable corporation with extensive experience in airport construction worldwide. He stressed that the government and the Prime Minister closely monitor the project, holding regular meetings to accelerate progress and ensure early completion. He urged ACECOOK and the VIET Consortium to collaborate with equipment suppliers to shorten completion time while maintaining quality, technical standards, and economic efficiency. Mr. Reup affirmed VIET commitment to maximizing efforts and exploring technical and construction solutions to expedite Package 5.10. He also expressed interest in undertaking additional infrastructure projects for the Long Thanh International Airport's operations and future transportation infrastructure projects in Vietnam. On February the 17th, Reup Worldwide, one of the leading fintech companies in Australia specializing in international payment solutions, held a strategic meeting with representatives from Sacombank SBR of Vietnam in Sydney, Australia. The meeting aimed to discuss expanding cooperation and enhancing remittance and international payment services between Australia and Vietnam. During the meeting, the two sides discussed expanding Reup services not only in Vietnam and Australia, but also to potential markets such as New Zealand, Japan, Canada, the US and Europe. The event marks a significant milestone in both parties' efforts to improve the cross-border financial system, optimize transaction speed and enhance user experience.
Our relationship, our partnership, cooperation, and we have the plan for 2025 and for the future, expand to the global market for not only Australia, we expand into New Zealand, Japan, Europe, Canada and US also. And also we discuss about technology.
Looking ahead, Reup and Sacombank SBR are committed to further strengthening their cooperation and implementing new financial solutions to optimize the remittance transaction process. Additionally, this event also contributes to fostering economic and financial relations between Vietnam and Australia.
I think Australia and Vietnam have natural strengths in working together in collaboration. I think the nature of their societies, Vietnam having a young society and technologically savvy, and Australia having financial strengths such as easy remit, mean that we have natural opportunities to collaborate together.
With the rapid growth of the digital economy and the increasing demand for remittances, the cooperation between Reup and Sacombank SBR is expected to usher in a new phase in the banking and financial sector. Books on culture, history and President Ho Chi Minh, along with images of Vietnam's beauty, have drawn many Cuban and international readers to the fair, held annually at La Cabaña Fortress in Havana. This event has become a cultural hub and spiritual feast for book lovers worldwide, fostering mutual understanding and friendship among nations. Books on culture, history and President Ho Chi Minh, along with images of Vietnam's beauty, have drawn many Cuban and international readers to the fair, held annually at La Cabaña Fortress in Havana. This event has become a cultural hub and spiritual feast for book lovers worldwide, fostering mutual understanding and friendship among nations. Focusing on fashion and cuisine, the Tết Việt program has been recently held at Martin Luther King Library in Washington, D.C., offering young Vietnamese Americans and international guests a deeper appreciation of Vietnamese culture. Renowned figures in fashion and cuisine, along with Vietnamese American and international attendees, participated in the event. According to organizers, this special event aimed to celebrate and preserve Vietnamese heritage in the U.S., bringing together both Vietnamese Americans and those who appreciate Vietnamese culture.
We chose food and fashion for our program because those are the two quintessential elements of Tết for Vietnamese culture. And here in America, both food, when they see our food and our fashion, they immediately want to get to know about it and want to be aware of that.
A highlight of the event was the discussion about the áo dài, showcasing designers' passion and the garment's cultural significance in Vietnamese life. As a Vietnamese American, I want to introduce áo dài to more communities so they can recognize and wear it. Beyond fashion, the event also promoted Vietnamese culinary traditions, offering international guests a taste of authentic Tết dishes.
Sometimes when people think about Vietnam, they always think about the Vietnam War first. But when doing this program, we hope when we talk about Vietnam and people think about Vietnam, they think about the history, the food, the culture, the fashion, and everything else that Vietnam has to offer.
Events organized by Vietnam society not only strengthen ties to the homeland for millions of overseas Vietnamese, but also connect American friends with a Vietnam rich in tradition and modern elegance. This is the end of the QPVN News today. Remember to watch our news again at qpvn.vn. Thank you for watching and goodbye for now.